The storm howled across the frozen wastes of Epsilon 7 like a living thing, all teeth and fury. Jasper watched it from the frost-glazed window of his research hut, hands wrapped around a mug of synthetic coffee that had gone cold an hour ago. 3 years he'd been stationed on this ice ball, cataloging bacterial extremophiles that shouldn't exist but did anyway, alone, always alone, which is why the pounding on his door nearly made him drop the mug. Through the viewport he saw them 6 figures, hunched against the wind, their forms barely visible through the white chaos. Jasper's hand hovered over the plasma pistol mounted by the doorframe, then moved instead to the emergency release. Protocol said isolation. Common sense said hypothermia killed faster than bad decisions. The door slid open and they tumbled in like a cascade of snow and limbs and something else scales. Feathers. His brain struggled to process what his eyes reported. Seal it now. The voice was feminine, urgent, and came from a being that stood nearly 7 feet tall, her skin a shifting pattern of silver and blue that reminded Jasper of Earth's cuttlefish. Behind her, 5 more piled into his modest habitat, bringing with them the smell of ozone and something spicy, like cinnamon mixed with gunpowder. Jasper slammed the door control. The storm became a distant roar. "Thank you, human." A tall one, clearly the leader, straightened to her full height, and Jasper noticed the wicked-looking weapon strapped to her thigh, the battle harness across her chest. The others were similarly equipped, huntresses, warriors. His research hut suddenly felt very small. "You're welcome," Jasper managed, trying not to stare. "What are you running from?" "Glacial ravagers," one of the others answered. She was shorter, more compact, with amber eyes that glowed faintly in the dim light. "We've been tracking a pack for 6 days. They didn't appreciate it." Architected character introduction and interpersonal tension for narrative. Good start. I need to introduce Danny as one of the Huntresses and build up to the "I saw him first" moment. Let me continue with developing the dynamic and showcasing human resourcefulness that makes HFY Stories work. "Ravagers don't come this far south," Jasper said, his researcher brain automatically engaging. "The thermal vents are north." "We know." The leader's chromatophores rippled with what might have been amusement. "We drove them here. Unfortunately, we underestimated their tolerance for cold." She extended a hand, the gesture surprisingly human. "I'm Kessa, pack leader of the Verdant Moon. This is my crew." She introduced them, rapid-fire Zira, the amber-eyed one, Thess and Myra, twins with crystalline skin, Rin, who had what looked like natural armor plating, and finally, Danny, said the last huntress, and Jasper's breath caught. She was smaller than the others, almost human size, with skin that shimmered like oil on water, shifting through purples and deep greens. But it was her eyes that held him solid black, like polished obsidian, reflecting his own face back at him. When she smiled, he saw teeth too sharp to be friendly, and yet somehow they were. "Interesting name for a Catherine," Jasper said, finding his voice. "My clutch sister couldn't pronounce my real name, called me Danieth." It stuck. She moved past him, deliberately close, and Jasper caught that cinnamon gunpowder scent again. "You live here alone?" "Research station," he confirmed, watching as the Huntresses spread through his space with professional efficiency, checking sight lines, securing positions. Warriors to the core. "I'm studying bacterial adaptation too." The building shuddered. Outside, something massive screamed. "They've found us," Kessa said calmly. "How sturdy is this structure?" Jasper's mind raced. "Not very. It's designed for weather." "Not. What are we talking about? How big are these "Roughly the size of your Terran elephants," Zira offered helpfully, "with crystalline tusks that can punch through reinforced hull plating." "Fantastic." Jasper moved to his workstation, fingers flying across the holographic interface. "Okay, the hut won't hold, but the bacterial containment lab, belows built into the bedrock, designed to withstand catastrophic containment breach, should handle angry wildlife below." Kessa's chromatophores flickered interest. "Show us." He led them to the floor hatch, revealing the ladder down. Another impact rocked the building, and this time ice crystals rained from the ceiling joints. "Move," Kessa ordered, and her pack obeyed instantly. One by one they descended, graceful despite their weapons and gear. Danny went last, pausing at the ladder's edge. "You're coming too?" "Yes. Right behind you," Jasper promised. Her hand for fingers, he noticed, each tipped with a retractable claw, touched his arm briefly. "Good." In the lab below, Jasper sealed the hatch as something enormous crashed into the hut above. The ceiling held, barely. "This will work," Kessa declared, examining the reinforced walls. "We wait out the storm. The Ravagers will lose interest and move on. They're persistent, not patient." The Huntresses settled in with the ease of soldiers used to rough conditions. Jasper found himself sitting near Danny, who had claimed a spot by his bacterial incubators, studying the glowing cultures with undisguised curiosity. You study the smallest forms of life, she observed, while we hunt the largest. Interesting parallel. I never thought of it that way. I did, her black eyes fixed on him. I've been watching you. Since we crested the ridge and saw your hut, I told Kessar that he'll help us. I saw the hut first, Rin called from across the lab, her voice teasing. Does that mean I get credit? You saw the structure, Danny replied without looking away from Jasper. I saw him. The other Huntresses made various sounds, laughter, knowing clicks. What might have been the Kethron equivalent of whistling. She's been talking about the lone human researcher for 2 days, Zero added. Ever since we picked up your beacon signature. Jasper felt heat creep up his neck. It's just a standard research beacon, is it? Danny leaned closer, and Jasper realized her skin colors shifted with her emotions, currently cycling through what looked like pleased purples and interested teals. How long since you've had company, Jasper? 3 years, give or take. That's too long. She said it with conviction. Humans aren't meant for isolation. Neither are we're pack hunters, social creatures. A pause, then that sharp-toothed smile again. When the storm passes and the ravagers leave, perhaps I'll stay, study your bacteria, learn what makes the smallest things survive the harshest conditions. Above them, something roared its frustration into the wind. Kessa watched her packmate with knowing eyes. You'll have to ask her clutch mother for permission to court a human. I'll ask after, Danny said, still holding Jasper's gaze. Easier to get forgiveness than permission. Jasper actually laughed for the first time in months. Outside, the storm raged and monsters prowled, but inside this reinforced bubble of warmth and light, surrounded by warriors from beyond the stars, he felt something he hadn't felt in 3 long years, hope, and maybe, just maybe, the beginning of something more.